in the vicinity at a private event with Michael Jordan. Now, it's hard to believe that they're not talking basketball. We know it has to do with basketball a little bit.
Okay, this is wild. Caitlin Clark just had a secret meeting with the GOAT.
You ever notice how the WNBA keeps preaching to Caitlin Clark about staying in her lane? Like she should just dribble, smile, and say thank you for being allowed in the room. Then, boom, she grabs a golf club and the world stops spinning for a second. No PR campaign. No flashy promo. Just one swing, and suddenly, every eye on that course is glued to her. Fans leaning over ropes, players literally pausing mid-warm-up. It wasn't a mystery who the main event was. And somewhere deep in the WNBA offices, you just know Kathy Engelbert was sighing. Perfect. Now she's stealing headlines in another sport. Here's the truth they all hate whispering. Caitlin Clark doesn't shine because of the WNBA. The WNBA shines because of Caitlin Clark. And when that spotlight followed her to the golf course, yeah, that's when the panic alarms started blaring. When Caitlin stepped up to that tee box at the LPGA Pro-Am, the vibe changed instantly. Everyone expected a cute, lighthearted cameo. Smile, swing, clap, done. But her focus, it screamed competition. Her stance, her calm, her precision, it all said, I came to win. Then came that sound. That crisp, perfect crack of the club connecting with the ball. Heads turned. Pros froze. Spectators murmured. The collective thought was crystal clear. Oh, she's not here for photos. In that moment, the narrative flipped. Caitlin wasn't playing like a guest. She was performing like a natural-born athlete who dominates wherever she lands. She didn't just draw attention. She owned it. No marketing team needed. No media spin required. Because Caitlin Clark is the show, and when a star proves her spotlight travels wherever she goes, that's not a fluke. That's power. The LPGA got it right away. They didn't tiptoe around her presence or dilute her shine. They embraced it. They saw the value, and that's why they didn't pair her with just anyone. They teamed her up with Nelly Korda, the best golfer in the world. That wasn't an accident. That was pure strategy. They placed Caitlin Clark beside the face of their sport because, shocker, they weren't intimidated by her spotlight. They leaned in. Crowds didn't just glance. They stacked shoulder to shoulder along the fairway. You could feel the buzz, the suspense, the thrill of something unscripted unfolding. It was raw, real. And here's the kicker. The LPGA didn't try to shrink her. They didn't lecture her on her place. They didn't split attention like it was delicate china. They said, we have a superstar. Let's roll with it. Meanwhile, over in the WNBA, they treated her fame like a problem to babysit, not a jackpot to grow. The LPGA didn't just respect her. They celebrated her. They spotlighted her. They understood her value for everyone. They leaned in. Because when someone uplifts your sport, you don't shrink the moment. You expand it. So why didn't the WNBA do that? That brings us to the part Kathy Engelbert definitely wants to ignore. Caitlin Clark didn't tiptoe into the WNBA. She exploded in with the most hype the league had seen in decades. Ratings peaked, ticket sales skyrocketed, merchandise vanished off shelves, arenas that never filled suddenly looked like playoff arenas. She brought a tidal wave. And instead of riding it, the league pretended the sea was calm. Veterans played physical from day one. Not competition, but targeted hits. Cheap shots, late bumps, full-court harassment, and the league stayed mute. No fines, no statements, no protection for their top star. Meanwhile, commentators claimed Caitlin's fame was overblown, that she wasn't special, that her fans were bandwagoners. All while every ticket she touched instantly sold out. It wasn't just mismanagement, it was denial. The league had a cultural sensation and treated it like a minor scheduling issue. And Caitlin? She didn't lash out. She didn't complain. She just kept hooping. But the fans saw it, sponsors saw it, executives saw it. So when she stepped into another sport and the LPGA said, "Welcome, thrilled to have you," the contrast was deafening. And that contrast is exactly what sent Kathy Engelbert into total panic mode. Thousands of miles away, while Caitlin Clark dazzled on the golf course, Kathy Engelbert was probably glued to spreadsheets, refreshing projections, and firing off emails with subject lines screaming, "We need to discuss optics." Because when LPGA ratings spiked, when fans packed the stands, when highlight reels blew up, not for golf, but because Caitlin was there, it hit Kathy like a surprise mid-season audit. Caitlin's star power doesn't belong to the WNBA, it belongs to the audience. And the nightmare scenario for any commissioner? Fans realizing they don't need your league to watch the superstar they adore. Sponsors started whispering, "Can we activate Caitlin without the WNBA? Can we run dual sport campaigns? Can we funnel spend toward golf?" That, my friends, is true panic. The WNBA hasn't just used Caitlin. They've depended on her. And dependency without control? That's a commissioner's horror story. Suddenly, Kathy Engelbert's Balance the Spotlight Act looked less like leadership and more like sheer terror. Meanwhile, in the golf world, Caitlin was treated like she belonged. And that matters more than anyone realizes. On that fairway, she wasn't the target. She wasn't the storyline people debated. She wasn't the rookie trying to prove herself. She was an athlete among athletes. Nelly Korda didn't see Caitlin as competition for attention. She saw a partner in elevating the moment. Players laughed with her, offered tips, welcomed her. No jealousy, no side-eye, no prove you belong here energy. It was respect, pure and simple. And Caitlin? You could see it in her shoulders, her expressions, the ease of her posture. She finally exhaled. Compare that to the WNBA, where every game felt like a trial. Hard fouls, dismissive commentary, constant undercutting of her golf impact. She didn't have to fight for space, justify her presence, or shrink for anyone. She was allowed to shine. And when an athlete feels genuinely welcomed, they never forget. Just when it seemed things couldn't escalate, one person entered and changed the game. Michael Jordan. Not just the greatest basketball player ever, but the blueprint for turning excellence into generational influence. Jordan invited Caitlin to Grove 23, the private course where champions, investors, and power players meet. If the LPGA